Have you ever wondered how extreme heat weather conditions are impacting our world? You see, as the mercury soars, it's not just about the discomfort of sweltering in a heat wave. The repercussions are far more profound and far-reaching. Extreme heat weather conditions refer to periods when temperatures skyrocket drastically above the average for a particular region. Think scorching desert winds, unbearable humidity, and asphalt melting heat. It's no longer an anomaly but a growing global concern. Our world is getting warmer, and these torrid conditions are becoming more frequent and intense. The impacts? They're as diverse as they are devastating, affecting everything from our environment to our economies. Understanding these impacts is the first step in forging a path towards solutions. It's about time we turned up the heat on this discussion, don't you think? We're about to explore the effects of these scorching conditions, so stay with us. Extreme heat isn't just uncomfortable, it's deadly. Let's take a dive into the facts and figures that showcase the severity of extreme heat. Our planet is getting warmer, and the number of heat waves is on the rise. In the past 5 decades, we've seen a significant increase in the frequency, intensity, and duration of these sweltering periods. The World Meteorological Organization reports that the 21st century has experienced 19 of the 20 hottest years ever recorded. The average global temperature has increased by more than 1 degree Celsius since the start of the Industrial Revolution. This might not sound like a lot, but when we're talking about our planet's climate, even small changes can have large effects. Now let's talk about the human toll of extreme heat. Heat waves are silent killers, causing more deaths annually than hurricanes, tornadoes, and floods combined. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that extreme heat events have caused more than 8,000 deaths in the United States alone since 1979. But these figures are likely underestimated. Many heat-related deaths are recorded as heart attacks, respiratory diseases, or other conditions, masking the true impact of extreme heat. In Europe, the infamous 2003 heat wave resulted in an estimated 70,000 deaths. And in Russia, a prolonged heat wave in 2010 is believed to have caused 56,000 fatalities. These are not isolated incidents, but part of a worrying global trend. And it's not just about the human cost. Extreme heat also affects ecosystems and wildlife. Heat waves can cause mass die-offs of marine species, disrupt bird migrations, and trigger widespread forest fires, leading to loss of habitats and biodiversity. The numbers tell a clear and alarming story. The world is getting hotter, heat waves are becoming more frequent and intense, and the human and environmental costs are escalating. These numbers are not just statistics, they represent real people and real lives lost. As we move forward, it's crucial that we understand, address, and mitigate the impacts of extreme heat. Extreme heat doesn't only affect humans, it has a profound impact on our environment. When the mercury rises, the implications are far-reaching, with every corner of our ecosystem feeling the heat. Let's delve into this further. Imagine this: a forest, once lush and vibrant, now reduced to a smoky ruin. This isn't a scene from a dystopian novel, but a harsh reality we face today. Extreme heat and prolonged dry periods set the stage for forest fires, which not only wreak havoc on the flora, but also release vast amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, thus exacerbating global warming. Next, let's talk about water, the elixir of life. As temperatures soar, water sources dry up, creating a domino effect. Rivers shrink, lakes evaporate, and groundwater levels drop. This not only threatens our water supply, but also disrupts aquatic ecosystems. Fish and other water-dwelling creatures struggle to survive in these harsh conditions, and some might even face extinction if this trend continues. But it's not just aquatic life that's at risk. All creatures, whether they walk, fly, or crawl, are feeling the heat. Animals, just like us, have their comfort zones when it comes to temperature. When those comfort zones are breached due to rising temperatures, it can lead to changes in behavior, reproduction, and even survival. For instance, birds may lay their eggs earlier in the year or migrate to cooler areas, and mammals might have to forage for food at different times or in different areas. And let's not forget about our buzzing friends, the bees. These tiny creatures play a huge role in pollination, an essential process for the survival of many plants. But extreme heat can disrupt their routines and even lead to their deaths, which could have a devastating impact on our food supply. In essence, extreme heat is reshaping our world, altering ecosystems and threatening biodiversity. It's a silent destroyer, slowly but surely turning our green planet into a barren landscape. The heat is turning our green planet into a scorched wasteland. The heat is burning holes in our pockets too. When we speak of extreme heat, it's not just about the scorching sun and the discomfort it brings. We're also talking about the economic consequences that come with it. It's a ripple effect, a chain of events that starts with a rise in temperature and ends with a hit to our wallets. Consider this: the hotter it gets, the more we crank up the air conditioning. Sounds logical, right? But this increased energy consumption doesn't come cheap. Power plants have to work overtime to meet this demand, burning more fuel and driving up utility bills for households and businesses alike. And let's not forget the cost of maintaining and upgrading our energy infrastructure to cope with these demands. But it doesn't stop there. Extreme heat has a profound impact on agriculture. Crops wither in the heat, livestock suffer, and yields fall. This leads to higher food prices at the grocery store, hitting the average consumer's pocket. Farmers too face financial hardship as their income drops. It's a double whammy that affects both the producer and the consumer. Then, there's the cost to our health. Extreme heat leads to an increase in heat-related illnesses, from heat exhaustion to heat strokes. These health impacts can be severe, even fatal, and treating them isn't cheap. Hospital admissions rise, putting a strain on healthcare services and driving up medical costs. Taken together, these effects represent a significant economic burden. The dollars and cents add up quickly, and before we know it, we're dealing with a cost that's far from trivial. And it's not just the immediate cost we need to worry about. The long-term economic implications of extreme heat, from lost productivity due to illness to the cost of adapting our infrastructure and agriculture, are profound. Extreme heat is more than a discomfort. It's an economic challenge that affects us all, regardless of where we live or what we do. It's a problem that needs our attention and, more importantly, our action. The cost of extreme heat is more than we can afford. We've seen how extreme heat is impacting our world in devastating ways. From the scorching temperatures that singe the earth and evaporate our water sources, to the ripple effects on our environment and economy, the consequences of extreme heat are far-reaching and profound. Let's recap what we've learned. The facts and figures tell a dire story. We've seen how record-breaking heat waves are becoming the norm rather than the exception, leading to an increase in wildfires, droughts, and severe weather events. These aren't just numbers on a page, they represent tangible changes that are happening to our world. The environmental impact is equally significant. Extreme heat disrupts ecosystems, threatening a range of species from the smallest insects to the largest mammals. It leads to the loss of biodiversity, disrupts food chains, and exacerbates the effects of other environmental crises, such as deforestation and ocean acidification. Economically, we've discussed how extreme heat is not just an environmental issue, but a financial one too. It affects agriculture, infrastructure, and even our health, leading to increased medical costs and a strain on our healthcare system. But the story doesn't end here. There are potential solutions and actions we can take to mitigate the impact of extreme heat. We can adapt our lifestyles, reducing our carbon footprint through conscious consumption and sustainable practices. We can support policies and initiatives aimed at reducing greenhouse gas emissions and promoting renewable energy. Most importantly, we can remember that every action counts. Every time we choose to recycle, to conserve water, to plant a tree, or to speak out about the importance of climate action, we are contributing to the solution. We are all part of the narrative of climate change, and we all have a role to play in shaping its outcome. Remember, the heat is on, but together we can cool down our planet.